There are footballers who become famous. There are footballers who become legends. And then there are those who redefine what greatness truly means. 5 Ballon d'Or awards, 5 UEFA Champions League titles, a European Championship with Portugal, more than 900 career goals, a name recognized in every corner of the world. But none of those achievements explain how Cristiano Ronaldo became Cristiano Ronaldo. Because before the packed stadiums, before the trophies, before the famous "See you" celebration echoed across the globe, there was only a boy. A boy born on a small island where almost nobody expected greatness to exist. Today, we uncover the complete story behind one of football's greatest icons. Welcome to Inside the Football Legacy, where football isn't just remembered, it's understood. On February 5, 1985, Cristiano Ronaldo dos Santos Aveiro was born in Madeira, Portugal. It was beautiful, peaceful, but far away from football's biggest stages. Cristiano grew up in a modest home with his parents and 3 siblings. His father, José Diniz Aveiro, worked long hours as a gardener and later as a kitman for a local football club. His mother, Maria Dolores, worked tirelessly to provide for the family. Money was always tight. Luxury didn't exist, but dreams were free. From the moment Cristiano touched a football, something felt different. While other children played until they got tired, Cristiano played until someone forced him to stop. The narrow streets of Madeira became his first stadium. Concrete walls became teammates. Every older kid became another defender to beat. Football wasn't simply a game, it became his escape.
Even as a child, Cristiano stood out. Not just because of his talent, but because of his mindset. He hated losing. If his team lost a match, he often cried. Many adults thought he was too emotional, but they misunderstood him. He wasn't crying because he had lost one game. He cried because he believed he should always be better. That obsession with improvement would eventually become his greatest strength. At the age of 8, Cristiano joined Andorinha, the local club where his father worked. The facilities were basic. The pitches were rough. There were no cameras, no famous coaches, no promises of success. Yet Cristiano trained as though every session was a World Cup final. When practice ended, he stayed behind, running, shooting, practicing the same moves over and over again. Without realizing it, he was already building the habits that would one day separate him from the rest of the football world. As the years passed, one thing became clear. Madeira was no longer big enough for his dream. At just 12 years old, Cristiano received an opportunity that could change his life forever. Sporting CP, one of Portugal's biggest clubs, wanted him in Lisbon, but accepting that opportunity meant leaving behind everything he had ever known, his family, his friends, his home. Standing at the airport with a small bag in his hand, Cristiano faced the first great decision of his life: stay where life felt safe, or risk everything for a dream that offered no guarantees. He chose the dream. Little did he know, the hardest part of his journey was only just beginning. At just 12 years old, Cristiano Ronaldo boarded a plane to Lisbon with nothing but a small bag, a pair of football boots, and a dream that seemed impossible. For the first time in his life, he was leaving Madeira. He wasn't going on vacation. He wasn't visiting relatives. He was leaving home to chase a future that no one could guarantee. When the plane took off, he looked out of the window as his island slowly disappeared beneath the clouds. He had no idea when he would see his family again, but he knew one thing: if he wanted to become the best, there was no turning back. Life at Sporting CP's academy was nothing like Madeira. The city was bigger, the training was harder. Every player had been the star of his hometown. Now everyone was fighting for the same dream. For the first time, Cristiano wasn't the most talented player by default. He had to earn his place every single day. The biggest challenge, however, wasn't football, it was loneliness. Every night after training ended and the academy became quiet, he missed home. He missed his mother's cooking. He missed his family. He missed the streets where his dream had first begun. Some nights he cried himself to sleep. Many young players gave up because of homesickness. Cristiano refused to. Every morning he reminded himself why he had left Madeira in the first place. Not to be comfortable, but to become great. As if adapting to a new city wasn't difficult enough, Cristiano also became the target of jokes. His Madeiran accent sounded different from the boys in Lisbon. Some teammates laughed when he spoke. Others copied the way he pronounced certain words. For a 12-year-old, those moments hurt. But instead of arguing, Cristiano made a decision. He would let his football do the talking. Every sprint became a statement. Every goal became an answer. Every training session became another opportunity to prove that talent speaks louder than words. Slowly, the laughter disappeared. Respect replaced it. Just when everything finally seemed to be improving, life threw him another challenge. During training, Cristiano noticed that his heart would race far faster than it should. Doctors examined him and discovered an irregular heartbeat. The diagnosis was serious. Without treatment, his football career could end before it had truly begun. For a boy who had already sacrificed so much, the news was devastating. Cristiano underwent heart surgery. His family feared the worst. Would he ever play again? The operation was successful, but what surprised everyone wasn't the surgery. It was Cristiano's reaction afterwards. Only days later, he was asking when he could return to training. The answer was simple. He wasn't afraid of hard work. He was afraid of wasting time. That relentless mindset separated him from everyone around him. By the age of 15, Sporting's coaches knew they were developing someone extraordinary. The skinny boy from Madeira was becoming stronger, faster, and more determined with every passing day. Soon, fate would place him in front of one of the greatest managers football had ever seen, and one unforgettable match would change Cristiano Ronaldo's life forever. By the summer of 2003, Cristiano Ronaldo was no longer just another academy player. At Sporting CP, coaches spoke about him as a once-in-a-generation talent. His pace was electrifying. His footwork left defenders chasing shadows. And perhaps most importantly, he had developed an unshakable belief in himself. What he didn't know was that one ordinary night would change his life forever. On August 6, 2003, Sporting CP faced Manchester United in the opening match of their new stadium. For Manchester United, it was simply a pre-season friendly. For Cristiano, it was the biggest opportunity of his life. From the first whistle, he played without fear. Every time he received the ball, he attacked. He dribbled past experienced defenders as if they weren't there. He sprinted down the wings with confidence. He created chances. He entertained the crowd. And by the final whistle, Sporting had defeated Manchester United 3-1. But the score wasn't the story. Cristiano Ronaldo was. As Manchester United's players walked back toward the dressing room, many of them couldn't stop talking about the young Portuguese winger. Some reportedly told their manager, "Boss, we've got to sign this kid." Sir Alex Ferguson had seen enough. He knew talent when he saw it. Only a few days later, Manchester United completed the transfer. At just 18 years old, Cristiano Ronaldo was heading to England.
Walking into Manchester United wasn't simply another step in his career. It was entering one of football's biggest institutions. The dressing room was filled with legends: Ryan Giggs, Paul Scholes, Roy Keane, Ruud van Nistelrooy. Cristiano had watched these players on television. Now they were his teammates. Then came another surprise. Sir Alex Ferguson handed him the famous number 7 shirt. Cristiano was shocked. That number had been worn by icons like George Best, Eric Cantona, and David Beckham. He even asked if he could wear a different number. Sir Alex smiled and said, "You'll wear 7. From that day forward, the football world slowly stopped calling him simply Cristiano Ronaldo. He became CR7. The Premier League was unlike anything he had experienced. Defenders were stronger, the tackles were harder, every match felt like a battle. Critics claimed he relied too much on tricks. Some believed he would never survive English football. Cristiano listened to every criticism. Then he went back to training. He built muscle in the gym. He improved his finishing. He learned when to dribble and when to pass. Season after season, the flashy teenager evolved into a complete footballer. By 2007, he wasn't just Manchester United's brightest young player. He was their leader. The goals kept coming. The trophies followed. Then, in 2008, Cristiano achieved what he had dreamed about since leaving Madeira. Manchester United won the UEFA Champions League. Later that year, he lifted his first Ballon d'Or, officially becoming the best footballer in the world. For many players, reaching the top would have been enough. For Cristiano Ronaldo, it was only the beginning, because waiting in Spain was the biggest challenge of his career. A club dressed in white, a club called Real Madrid. When Cristiano Ronaldo arrived at Real Madrid in the summer of 2009, the expectations couldn't have been higher. The Spanish giants paid a world record transfer fee of £80 million, making him the most expensive footballer in history at the time. It wasn't just a transfer, it was a statement. Real Madrid believed they had signed the player who would lead them back to the top of world football. More than 80,000 fans packed the Santiago Bernabeu for his unveiling. Standing in the famous white shirt, Cristiano looked around the stadium. Just a few years earlier, he had left Madeira carrying a small bag and an impossible dream. Now the biggest club in the world expected him to become its next legend, and he welcomed the pressure. Cristiano's first seasons in Spain were remarkable. Goals came almost every week. He became faster, stronger, and more clinical than ever before. But standing on the other side of Spain was another extraordinary player, Lionel Messi. For more than a decade, football witnessed one of the greatest rivalries in sporting history. Every season became a new battle. Who would score more goals? Who would win the Ballon d'Or? Who was truly the best player in the world? Fans argued endlessly. The media turned every match into a global event. Yet Cristiano never allowed the rivalry to distract him. He wasn't trying to become better than Messi. He was trying to become a better version of himself. That mindset pushed him to extraordinary levels. Under coaches like Jose Mourinho and later Zinedine Zidane, Cristiano transformed into the complete modern forward. He could score with either foot. He dominated in the air despite not being the tallest player. His free kicks, long-range shots, and incredible athleticism made him almost impossible to stop.
But above all, he became the player who delivered when the pressure was greatest. No competition showcased that better than the UEFA Champions League. Time after time, Cristiano produced unforgettable. Between 2014 and 2018, Real Madrid won 4 Champions League titles in 5 seasons, including an incredible run of 3 consecutive Champions League trophies. Cristiano was the face of that historic team. By the end of his Madrid career, he had scored 450 goals in just 438 matches, becoming Real Madrid's all-time leading goal scorer, a record that many believed would stand for generations. Yet, despite all the goals, trophies, and individual awards, one dream still remained unfinished. For Portugal, Cristiano had experienced heartbreaking defeats. He had carried the hopes of an entire nation for years. Now another opportunity had arrived. UEFA Euro 2016. It would become the most emotional chapter of his career. Not because of the goals he scored, but because of the leader he became. Sometimes, true greatness isn't about being the hero. Sometimes, it's about inspiring everyone else to become one. For years, Cristiano Ronaldo had conquered club football. He had won league titles in England and Spain. He had lifted the Champions League multiple times. He had collected Ballon d'Or awards. But there was one dream that remained unfinished: winning a major international trophy with Portugal. That opportunity arrived at UEFA Euro 2016. Portugal fought their way to the final, where they faced the tournament hosts, France. The pressure was enormous. Millions expected Cristiano Ronaldo to deliver. But just 25 minutes into the match, disaster struck. After a heavy challenge, he injured his knee. He tried to continue. He ran. He limped. He fought through the pain. But eventually he collapsed to the ground in tears. The captain had to leave the pitch. For many players, that would have been the end of the story. Not for Cristiano. Standing on the touchline, he refused to disappear. He encouraged his teammates. He shouted instructions. He celebrated every tackle as if he were still playing. Then, in extra time, Eder scored the goal that changed Portuguese football forever. Portugal were European champions. Cristiano lifted the trophy with tears in his eyes, not because he had scored the winning goal, but because years of sacrifice had finally been rewarded. It was the proudest moment of his career. Even after reaching the top, Cristiano refused to slow down. He accepted a new challenge with Juventus, where he continued winning league titles and breaking records. Later, he returned to Manchester United, the club where he had first become a global superstar. Although football had changed, one thing hadn't: his determination. Every training session was treated like a final. Every season became another opportunity to improve. Eventually, he accepted a new chapter in Saudi Arabia, joining Al Nassr. Some questioned the decision. Cristiano ignored the noise. Throughout his career, he had learned that opinions fade. Work remains. Wherever he played, he continued scoring goals, inspiring teammates, and proving that discipline never goes out of style. Today, Cristiano Ronaldo's legacy is measured by more than trophies. Yes, he has won almost everything football has to offer. Yes, he has broken countless records. But the greatest thing he leaves behind isn't a number. It's a mindset. He taught the world that talent is only the beginning, that discipline beats excuses, that success belongs to those who keep working long after everyone else has gone home. Millions of young footballers have copied his celebration. Far more have copied his work ethic. That may be his greatest achievement of all.
Think back to where this story began. A young boy on the streets of Madeira, a football, a dream. Nothing about his childhood suggested he would become one of the greatest athletes in history. He wasn't born into wealth. He wasn't given shortcuts. He built his career one decision at a time, one training session at a time, one sacrifice at a time. From leaving home at 12 to overcoming heart surgery, to becoming the face of Manchester United, to rewriting history at Real Madrid, to leading Portugal to its greatest triumph, Cristiano Ronaldo proved that greatness is never an accident. It is earned every single day. And perhaps that's why his story continues to inspire millions around the world. Because deep down, everyone is chasing something, a dream, a purpose, a better version of themselves. Cristiano Ronaldo reminds us that impossible dreams don't belong to the lucky. They belong to those who refuse to quit. From a small island in Madeira to the biggest stadiums on earth, the boy who refused to fail became the man football will never forget. Thank you for watching. This is Inside the Football Legacy, where football isn't just remembered, it's understood.